ambition, greed, and I hate to say it, like I said, it's going to affect a lot of people. But homosexuality on there, and anything that has to do with homosexuality, ruins the pot of stew.
Right. Did you hear about the alleged, like, the big secret meeting in like 1991 or 92 that took place um, behind closed doors at some office in fucking Malibu or whatever, um, where it was like it was the heads of all the or the main record labels at the time,
Yeah, yeah,
and they,
yeah.
they were, we were just coming out of the Run DMC, the Public Enemy, this positive era, and I guess they conspired to, like, hey, that's when hip hop got in bed with the private prisons, and then all of a sudden, they were like, no, you know, we don't want, black empowerment or anything like that, or people from the inner city, and they changed it to, murder, death, kill. You heard about that one?
Oh man, when did I hear about that? I was there.
You
I
live,
wasn't in the movie, but
you live,
I
yeah.
was around that era. That was the beginning of my college years.
Wow.
That was the time when you had clean hip hop, like but basically political hip hop, and then all of a sudden it became gangster. And there was a time when, as much as they played Tupac, I never. There was a time when, as much as they, and I didn't hate Tupac. It's just they played him so much on the radio that why would I spend my money buying this stuff when I could hear it? And everybody had his CD and everything, and I was on tape and I was listening. Everyone had his album, and they played it so much. And I think what happened was that, and this is just my assumption, because let's face it, right? Let's talk about, and we've done this before. Like, okay, because let's face it, right? That music is music. Now, what makes music popular? What made that song any better than the song that we used to mix in the garage? What was it? It was the marketing. It was how many times she played on the radio. It's finding someone from the label, an AR at the time, that would play the music on the radio as often as possible. And how did he get there? Oh, a lot of money. A lot of money. So how could you make a lot of money? And I know this because I remember Kyrie, the producer of Mac Dre, and Vallejo. And when all of them was coming up, I was in the middle of all that. I was in the hip hop scene and this was in the Bay Area. I was there when Master P from Louisiana went to Vallejo and was working with a lot of West Coast artists. And then what did he do? Then after that, that was the transition of, the southern style of hip hop. It was, and throughout that whole time, what was happening during that time, and if we're talking about money, like when what did they do? The whole fucking police and whatnot, the songs in there, right? Because they were running guns. They were running guns, they were laundering money, so with that way they can fund their projects. And at the same time, if you think about it, it was like the best undercover. I mean, just like a lot of, back then, a lot of country rock music, what they were doing, they were running a lot of opioids and cocaine, and the music industry is the best way to launder money. It's the best way, and if you ask me, they were all playing in that same game.
It was called.
You didn't tell me.
It's called
Yeah.
payola, right?
Yeah, payola.
And then
Exactly.
they. I mean, it's. I don't know what year they made it illegal. Obviously, it's still going on, but back then that was like it was like the wild wild west, right? I mean, if you had $50,000 in street money, it's like, yo, play my homie's record, and that was your shot in.
Yeah. I did that to the group I managed from Oakland. Beats lyrics and conscious knowledge, black. I did that for them. James and them were just a bunch of guys from Oakland, and I heard their music, and I was a dancer, and of course, being Filipino was always DJing and clubs and everything, and black and Filipinos always ran together. Like it's always been, that's the best combination. You have the black artist, and then you have the Filipino managers and promoters, and then pretty soon, Filipinos got musical skills, so they start helping them write, and there was so many like collaboration going on until groups like In Too Deep and whatnot, and then moving on forward, Pilo and all of them, start coming to the scene. But in all reality, who was really getting paid at the end? Wasn't the artist. Wasn't the artist. The artists were getting the shows and they're getting the pussy and they're getting the fame. But In Too Deep wasn't necessarily, Anthony and them weren't really getting they weren't really getting the money. They were getting the fame. But the one that was getting the money was the label. The label. So, and then, I've always respected artists because, that means that you're a true artist, someone that can compose music. I can't discredit people, you can say, oh, he's this and this. No, I gotta say, Sam, Russell Simmons, all of them, they were some intelligent brothers. Intelligent, you know, and in the black community, you have athletes that paid millions. They're talking about we got no club, we got doctors and lawyers, and then we got professionals. Of course, they're going to support their own kind. Absolutely, that's going to happen. You can't stop that. But the thing that I'm saying is that if you don't manage it well, because I gotta tell you, the music industry today that did it right, I know it today, it's country music, man. It's country music. And then if you look at the echelon, if you look at the hierarchy of country music, I bet you they got their hands on the music. I bet you they got their hands on classical music. I bet you they got their hands on everything. Because as long as you're making the money, the line of record producing, it's still working. It's the same.
Right.
It's the same.
And,
It's the same.
I mean, even on that note, even though the tone and the melody's different, if you take a country record and just listen to the lyrics, they talking about the same shit. Whether it's a girl, a dog, whiskey, going through the trials and tribulations of living in the country. They just yeah, yes,
It's kind of like, okay, if you look at it, right, if you look at it, like with a lot of, because of AI, a lot of hip hop songs now are being remixed to AI, and they're turning them into like 1960s R&B stuff. And you know what's crazy?
yeah,
It's like, I've been listening to a lot of those, because I go, you know what? It's amazing because when they sing it that way, it's kind of like how gospel music became R&B. It, they're able to twist it and make it sound good. But the only thing with hip hop that they did was that they were just really so vocal about it. So vocal about it. They were just so, and they were so angry. To me, to me, if you talk about culturally, that was the thing about the African American culture. that if there's any way of changing, it's like, you know what, I understand you're angry. All of us are angry too. But damn it,
Yeah,
you have to say it that way. You
yeah.
have to say it that
I
way.
mean, especially after the first, even let's say from '92 to '02, you know, it's like we pretty much heard everything, um,
Yeah.
and sort of be more, clever, maybe witty. Um,
I think what it is, I think what it is that when it comes to, I would say, let's call it negative,
Negative, yeah.
because it's crass things, right? There's only that lifespan is only going to be there so much because truthfully, this is for me. This is my own thing. You can only talk about anger for so long. You can only talk about anger for so long. Why? Because there's a thing called maturity. So you may be 18, maybe 16, 18 years old, and you're angry, you're mad, discrimination, blah, 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 it's not fair, and the police always give me a bad time, they shot my friend, and everything like that. Okay, that's probably that particular anger, that particular feeling might be there until you're like 24, 25, and then you've been singing that since you were 16 or 18.
Mm.
After you pass 25 and you sang it so many times, you go, wait a minute, I got kids now,
Hey,
I'm married, I got money in my pocket, I was able to buy my mom a house, I got money in my pocket, I got clout, I'm known all over the world now.
um,
You know what? I can't be,
even
I
in
can't,
even in my own experience, without the success, the money, the clout, from about 17 to like 24, I was in it, man. And then around 24, 25, yeah, man, the whole, Nevada boy, and what my music was, mostly like the mental health, or I throw in some suicide bars or whatever, talk about drugs or whatever.
shit, yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't like. I've always been trying to shake away from that, so I don't want to just
Mm-hmm,
keep making the same like depressing kind of music. And I
mm-hmm,
was going through almost like a like an identity, like who am I really? Like if I am going to continue to make music, what what else is in my bag? I'm not a gangster. I'm not a pimp, a player, all whatever, and I'm not just some suicidal fucking asshole. And
mm-hmm.
I had to step back just off of that, And then I'm like, I'm a 25-year-old man. I don't want to just run around call myself boy all day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had that
Yeah, you know what?
realization early on, and then I'm kind of like, I love making music, but you know what? Yeah, I don't like. I'm not gonna sell myself for this shit. Hell no, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So imagine you're this person who maybe when you came to know how this is, when you first cut a song, first of all, you start playing a song, and that's the best kind of music. It's when you're like starving and you're in the bottom of the bottom, and you're like, you're barely hanging on, and then what happened? By emotion, you write the song because you're gifted to do that, right? You write the lyrics and you put the beat on it and everything, and then you're at that moment. But if you perform that, I mean, I would say even after we record it and you just listen to it, after a while you're like, I have to change. It's like having the same fucking haircut. Like you had the same fucking haircut since you were in sixth grade, and now you're like a grown ass man. You still have yourself. Some people like that shit. They can eat the same shit every day. But if you're a true creative, things are gonna change, man. Things are gonna change, man. If you're a true creative, your mind functions different. Some guys can eat the same fucking boring ass meal day in, day out.
Right.
The kind of meal that you don't put any kind of fucking seasoning, so they do the same thing and whatnot. That's why they can tolerate the same kind of work day in, day out. I got nothing against those people. That's how they function, that's how they function. But if you're a creative,
Mm.
you need a variety, you need change, you need
Mm.
You need both, you know.
And that
So
shout out to my favorite artist Tech Nine. After his KOD album in like 2009, King of Darkness, and I believe he has it in one of his bars. He's like I'm done with that KOD shit regardless. And then he come out with so-called more poppy music, his next album, whatever. Some of the more hardcore fans are like, man, that Tech's wash, and he's trying to go mainstream. It's like, bro, this dude's like 42 years old, and he just gave us the darkest album that he's ever made, and he don't want to do that no more. And then if you see all his music after that, I mean, he can still hit you with he can go as dark or as happy as he wants, but he opened up a whole new fan base after that, and then the old fans still are accepted him and still have so he has so much love, but he put it in his music. He told you, like, after his mom died, and he was just and he was getting off the ecstasy and stuff, and he's like, I have to be done with this. If not, you're not gonna have Tech at 54 years old. He would have been dead like 10, 15 years ago if he would have stayed in that mindset. And a lot of artists, well, I mean, to me, I'm sure there's a lot of influential artists out there. My palette isn't that extravagant, but to me, there's only like 10 or 20, like 10 to 25, like guys, just in the entirety of hip hop that are gonna be here. Still the music's gonna play in the year 3000. And because they give you so much of themselves, and they speak about the growth, or they speak about their retrogressions and everything, and that's what I fall in love with. When they really give you their mind, and he was still trying to keep his core audience, but at the same time, he's like, bro, I can't be in the studio writing and being in this mindset 24/7 for you guys, you know.
you know how you engage your music today. You gotta pay attention to the younger people. I'm talking about young people like that went to high school, like university, you get 10th grade, right? And you gotta, and how you find that out is, you know, karaoke, karaoke.
Mm.
Like that's a karaoke because a lot of people can play all the songs. And we were actually, my son and I, we were, at any Filipino party. And the good thing about Filipino parties is that, you know what, they have good food, good conversation, and not everybody gets drunk, which is, I'm glad. But there's some parties when they get drunk, that's the only way they can have fun. I'm like, fuck yeah, fuck that. Someone's gonna get arrested, the cops are gonna come over here, and then all the niggas. Nah, I'm not with that. So you go to a Filipino party, you're gonna eat well, you're gonna have fun, but at the same time, you're gonna sing, you're gonna have fun. It's gonna be clean. And I was just kind of taken aback because there's this young kid, he's in high school, his name is Sidra, and all the songs that he liked, bro, were all the songs in the 80s because they were easy to sing. And not just that, I go, how do you know these songs? These are the songs that I grew up in. He goes, some of those songs you don't. Those are the best songs. I mean, I said, are you the only one that likes this? And of course, when you're that age, you want to like highlight the stuff. Oh, no, uncle. A lot of my friends love these 80s music. Not only do they love the 80s music, they want to look in the kids. Like 1985, 84, about that year when music was amazing. Yeah, like a lot of the styles back in the 80s are coming back today. And then what tells you, what does that tell you about the whole social thing? That tells you that, you know what it is that, there's going to be a certain amount of people, and I think that's what happened was that with certain people, and I'm going to blame the black community on this one right here, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying the few that wanted to give this negative connotation
That's why the whole Crips and Blood and that stuff right there, it got twisted around because if you look at the Crips, man, the Crips wasn't bad, bro. In LA, the Crips was kind of like the Black Panther back then.
Well,
They were the one that were providing lunches, they were providing breakfast, and they were buying
yeah,
backpacks and books and things like that, after school programs.
I believe it stands for a community revolution in progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Mission.
And then what did they do? What did they do? Again, you could say, oh, that was, that's like a white man. But I mean, okay, I get it. But at the same time, the white man can only do so much. But and let's say for example, it was a white man, let's say he's a Filipino guy, and all he really needs to do is a few brothers who's gonna be like, we're gonna be for you, we're gonna like put the corruption on there and make it hardcore, and because in prison, da 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 da, and you look at the prison system. I mean, yeah, come on. I mean, I know a lot of people that came from prison. I mean, there's a lot of people in prison that reformed for the better, but majority of them just became old, but their mentality got stuck in that street, whatever. They don't know how to grow up. They're just a bunch of grown men like me that's just fucking immature. And of course they're gonna do that because they're stuck there. Where they're gonna go? And where am I going with this? And unfortunately, what it is that they gave that a bad name. And like you said, the Crips and everything, and then he went all of that stuff, and then the whole sagging pants, and it's just rebellion after rebellion after rebellion, and that's why I gotta give props to the country music, man. I gotta give props to them because they stayed steady. They, yeah, you could talk about getting drunk and but what did they mostly talk about? They got drunk, they broke up. He cheated on her, she cheated on him. He went to jail and everything, and then everything is okay again. It was okay again. And just being real. Yeah, I get it.
In your whole life, have you ever heard of a country artists beefing with each other or wanting to, I'm gonna shoot you with my revolver next time I see you at the show?
No.
That's
actually,
that's
well,
amazing.
yeah, your typical boss fight. You, I spot you cheating my girlfriend, so you and I gotta fix the cuffs, couple of broken noses, couple of loose teeth, and then after that we're good again. That's it.
They seem to have a very in-house. If you're a country guy, I mean, you're looking out for the next country guy, and they're very together. The hip hop is always, well, in the beginning it started out as unity.
And I think what it is that the culture, accountability. But the problem is, if I start saying that, some black people are gonna go, oh yeah, this and that, da 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 da. You don't know what happened, da 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 da. So again, you're not being accountable, man. That's the problem. You got to play the victim role all the time, and you don't get it. Well, the white man this, the white man, no. I mean, you can blame him this, you can blame him that, but at the same time, if it wasn't for your help, it wouldn't manifest like that. It won't manifest that way. And this is since we're talking about that now, this is the difference, because even a Native American, because my ex-wife is Native American. You talk about people that blame the white man. Oh my God, you think black people are bad? If you ever heard Native, oh, my heart stinks so bad. Why? Because the white man. I can only hear so much of that man. I'm not. Okay, I get it, but at the same time, bruh, when are they gonna take accountability? Why do you always gotta blame someone for your misery? That's why it's you're in and out of jail, alcoholism, and then your life is this and that, whatever. You can only what they did to my land and this and that. yeah, okay, I get it, but you know what? I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but take accountability, own it, and get better at it, and don't let someone just, and I can say that right now because, it's like I I got no net, and I can say, oh yeah, I can blame the system, Nevada, this and that, da da da. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I gotta say, no, what is Ray gonna do about his situation? How am I gonna make myself better so that way my shit doesn't get any worse than it is? I gotta own it, and I gotta be accountable, and I have to be wise about my stuff. But if you're in that mentality of like victim mentality all the time, um, you know, uh, then then you don't have any room. Just like I tell people, you know what? Oh, I don't vote. I don't vote. Oh, this and that. I said, well, if you don't vote, I tell you what, you got no room to complain about how the country is being run, motherfuckers. Because voting is one of the best things that in this country. Oh, but it's rigged. It's rigged. I get it. It's rigged. Okay, and my vote doesn't count because you know what? So it's not. But the fact of that is, subconsciously, you took the effort to go there and you voted. Whether your vote was counted or not, whether who you voted for won or not, the fact that you're an American citizen and the fact that it's in our Constitution that you have rights to be able to vote. You've ever been in a country when you're not allowed to vote? So really, I just really think that in this country, there's just a lot of fucking privileged motherfuckers out there. And you know what? For one day, I just want them to experience, to be an immigrant. And I remember I was at a bar. In fact, I was at the Blind Dog bar in town. And that guy, James Swinton, I think you know him. James Swinton, his brother was over there. And he was talking about, well, what they did to black people, they want black people, right? And I go, well, as an immigrant, and he's a teacher on top of that, I go, we were given no privilege. And I was married to a Native American who's registered at the Rocky Boy Reservation. All my kids are registered. When COVID hit and we were getting stimulus, they were getting extra stimulus from the government. I think when COVID hit, my family except for me, man, they made out pretty good by being Native American and registered as a Native American. Do you have that same shit for immigrants? I don't think so. So I don't want to hear your black ass freaking complaining to me about, yeah, I get you. But you know what? I think everyone here everybody here mistreated everybody. I mean, when the Irish came over here, they were enslaved by the English. Everybody in this country had their fair share of unfairness. Now, the brevity of the unfairness, okay, would you say that, oh, well, you know what, but the worst had it with the black people? Okay, I agree with that, but then I don't know. We weren't there. You and I weren't there, so I don't know. Because they were doing the same thing with the Irish people. They were like inbreeding them and whatnot. The same thing. Slave is slave. Enslavement is enslavement, bro. It is what it is. The problem is that when you get hung up on that stuff, and then you blame everybody for your miscoming, because why? Because you yourself don't really want to make yourself better. I mean, what place can you go? Okay, and I've seen this for myself. where, let's say, for instance, you're poor.
Hey, I just want to say real quick, shout out to Angel Bear of Sweetness on Podbean, listening to the show. Salute.
Right. So, like, where can you go when you have no money? There is a welfare office that you can go to and get food stamps and welfare and everything. You don't have that in a third world country, because in the Philippines, I've seen it to where it's like, if you're poor and you come from a family of poor, motherfucker, you're just poor. Your kid's gonna be poor. Your grandkid's gonna be poor. And if you even have any type of vice, like you're an alcoholic because your life sucks, and I've seen this happen. Squatters. I remember growing up in the Philippines, we had squatters at the end of our block. And especially these two families. There was one family where they were just poor, but the father had some skills. He was a good mechanic. He helped whatever. He just wasn't educated. So people trusted him. And then there's this other guy. He was poor too, but he didn't really have any skills. He was just a drunk. You actually saw the polarity from the two of them. Who was the one that's like the kids? Now these are two poor families, but one family was a little decent. They were still poor, and the other one, the father, I seen them like get into fights. I seen the mother get into fights. I seen them coming home drunk. And then the kids were just like all over the place and whatnot. So there's no help, man. You're poor. So, and then, of course, you're a drunk. Guess what? Any other bullshit that comes along with that, he did, because he was running away from his troubles. So it's kind of like, I saw that at a young age. I kind of go, you know what? Here in America, you're poor or your life doesn't get straightened out is because of by choice. It's by choice. So I don't want to hear all this complaining and shit like that. That's why I guess today when I hear especially men complain about this and this and that, I say, well, motherfucker, tell me what your story is. Oh, bitch, you can never get rid of the alcohol, huh? You can never fucking get rid of your gambling and shit like that. Oh, you never joined the church. Oh, you probably did join the church, and then all of a sudden with your meek ass self, like, you know what? Oh, the church was talking shit about me. Well, you know what? If that was the case, as a mature grown ass man in America, suck it up, motherfucker. Suck it up, because you're lucky you live in a country that gives you all these opportunities. I lived in a country where it's like, it's like when you're shit out of luck. Oh, you're shit out of luck, man. So you either change for the better, or you fucking straighten your ass up. There's no second chance for you, bro. And I saw that for me at a young age, and then maybe there's a reason why God showed me that. And then when I came to this country, I was just kind of like, you see all these homeless people and whatnot. And yeah, some of them got mental issues and everything like that. But the ones that just can't get rid of their fucking vice, and it ruined their family's lives and everything, they just, and to where it's like, I've seen men that are like in and out of jail because why? Because in jail, you have 3 meals in a cot, motherfucker. And then you hear them, and then I this and that and da-da-da. I got to a point where, bitch, because, I don't care. Like, you know what? You're over here trying to cry and trying to get your pity story and everything. I know exactly what happened to you. You chose that fucking alcohol, the drugs, and the gambling over your family, and you never really seek help. But yet, when you're around people, you want to be like, oh, you want to stand in your soapbox. Well, this dude ain't gonna buy that shit. I ain't buying your story, man. You're just trying to people please, and you're trying to get attention, and you're trying to get people's pity. Fuck you.
And I think that's where I have let's take like the new age trap rap, for example, like your the King Vons, rest in peace, and all these like, these hyper aggressive young guys. Being 38 years old, I've heard that from artists in the 90s and the 2000s, and that's where I get drawn off on it. Is like, remember back in the day, we'd be freestyling, bro, and you're in a circle. Every time, even it happens still now, and we all do it, but like your freestyle flowing. If you rhyme bitch with dick, or just simple shit like that, it's like, bro, are we doing this again? Like hip hop just turned 50 years old or whatever. It's like we're still doing this, and I'm gonna pull out and squeeze and all this dumb shit, man. That's where I get turned off on it, bro. It's like, I came from the trenches, I'm saying? I'm from the trench. Like,
yeah,
I get it. Yeah, the trenches. Yeah, cool. And the sad thing is, most of these kids that came from the trenches, like in 2002, 2008, I don't know, some areas got gentrification. That's probably a better trench than what it was in 1978. So, like, you got more opportunities in 2008 than the OGs did in 78, 88. And I just get tired of that, man. And two girls on my dick, and then I'm gonna fuck a sister, and then it's like, damn, homie, like this is what we're still at.
And then if you dig really deep into these guys bragging how many girls they had, these bitches were crack addicts. I'm like, motherfucker, of course she's a crack addict. She'll suck a dick for a rock. she'll suck your dick for $2, man, and she's a hoe. Like, and you're talking to her like you're the finest dude and everything, and she's missing teeth, man. Get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. Don't give me that street shit. I had a roommate, and he's always like talking about, gangsters, this and this and that. And I said, what part of California are you from? Oh, Modesto. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm from the East Bay, where crack was cooked, from Vallejo. I've seen hardcore gangbangers where I'm from. You're from Modesto. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have your own level of rural gangbanging over there, but it ain't like city gangs. And then I go like this, how old were you when you came to Reno? Oh, was in the 8th grade. Bitch, fuck out of here. Like, you're talking to sis like what it is that they're overhyping your little minimal basic story because you want to match it to the ones that are really on the hardcore end of it. I've seen it over and over. That's why, to me, it's kind of like, when I talk to some of them, and then of course, being from California, you meet another California, and then you know where they're from, and and I'm familiar with the whole penal system and everything. Because a lot of my homies came from there, and they tell me stories. I'm like, I don't have to live it. I have enough people to let me know what's going on to know about it. And everyone that came over here says, oh man, the gang over here, it's like turf gangs. You want like gangs. Over there, your gang was a gang because why? Because you're protecting, because there's drug trafficking going on, there's prostitution going on, there's underground gambling going on, there's arms sales, like real hardcore. It's a business. It's not about turf wars.
it's a business. You're over here. The gangbanging over there is a little hardcore because now the seeing families.
Yeah.
Over here, you're fighting over it because they're from that side and we're from this side. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Hey, honestly, I'm super glad to be born in Nevada, even though, yeah, we were like, I mean, some kids were more influenced by it, but growing up, I always say this, like, the hardest I ever thought I was sixth grade, about 12, 13 years old. I didn't know that Norteños were red and Serranos were blue, and we would run around calling ourselves Northsiders. And for about 6 months of the year, we had like we would wear black bandanas, and I had no fucking clue, man. And but it, I had two homies. Shout out to Tony Baca and Mike Elton, wherever y'all at. And we were listening to the West Side Connection and stuff, but I still knew my heart, I guess, my soul. And I'm like, and whatever, before the year was even over, I was like, this is dumb. I don't want to follow trends and, all this. So I never really bought into that. And I'm glad. Because
you know what? Because sometimes, a lot of times, it's like to the Mexican, a lot of families because it's already been entrenched in their family.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of glad that, I wasn't in that culture. And that's not only that my dad would put up with bullshit. My dad did not put up with, I was afraid of my dad. I'm glad. I was afraid of my dad. I was freaking shit scared of my father. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I was. Like, my dad did not give a flying fuck. He said, I'll send you back to the Philippines, bitch. Fuck around? Yeah. Fuck around. See you find out. I'll send you back to the Philippines and good luck with you. Because my dad was like that. He was one of those guys that are like, he's a loving man, but he's also cold-blooded. So when I got involved with gangs and everything, growing up, because that's how it was over here, because even Filipinos over here, they were into the gangs and everything, and I kind of went, wait a minute, I came from Manila. I came here and I saw martial law. I over there, I'm talking cops just killing motherfuckers, arresting them and killing them with no freaking investigation whatsoever. If you didn't do right, if you're caught outside and you just happen to be outside, and these cops were not like, oh, we're gonna be straight and everything. No, the cops over there, they get drunk. They're like gangbangers. They're like gangsters over there. They're over there in the corner store drinking up, and it's our job. Okay. Oh, you're 10 o'clock. What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Or this and that, and you act up, but then you're shot and you're dead the following day. And what they can say, well, you know what? It's curfew. He's supposed to be in the house. And who's gonna defend him? Nobody. And you know what, too? It wasn't like my family was not connected. My grandfather was a freaking general in the Philippine Army. I got relatives that are connected to that stuff. But it's a different. It's like the wild, wild west, man. You don't fuck around. You just don't fuck around. There is no room. There's no legislation. There's no judicial system whatsoever. You do wrong, you get shot. Sorry, fool. You got what you asked for. That was the environment that I learned from, because I've seen it for myself. When I come over here and I'm going, gangs? The fuck? For what? Because the cops here, this and this and that. Okay, I get it. But I'm going, but if you did the right thing and play it, if you shot straight and you didn't get in shit involved in any stupid shit, isn't it cool? And I look back now and I tell my kids, you know what? I'm really so glad I didn't grow up in this fucking country. I'm a Filipino American. I'm glad I grew up. I'm glad that I grew up in a country where I saw like real hardcore crime
and I've seen third world living. You guys over here are always trying to follow what you see on fucking television. That's why today I don't watch TV because it's all fake. It's all drama. I'm like, oh, why in the fuck am I gonna watch some stupid ass show written by somebody who probably didn't even live that life, who probably is just like, trying to portray that that's how it is because negativity always sells, and an idiot will watch that shit thinking that's the way it is, and that's exactly what I learned here in America. We are so fucking influenced by the media. We don't even know what's real anymore. We don't even know what's real anymore. And how I knew that was because I remember, I don't think you were even, let's see. I remember when Janet Jackson and Tupac had a movie called Poetic Justice. When Janet Jackson had her braids, that was the first time, how they have the long braids now. That was like the first time they had extension braids. And then Tupac was the leading man. And I was working in Oakland. And after the movie showed, man, all the sisters had the same kind of braid. And I'm going, wow.
Right. Or even all those black exploitation films, the Mac, Superfly, and all that shit in the 70s, 80s. Or Boys in the Hood.
Okay, so those black exploitation, the afros and everything, right? Okay. But I lived through them too. That was real. Because back then, that was just the starting of the civil rights. And that was in the 60s and 70s and early 70s and mid 70s and going into the 80s. I get it. And the afros and all of that stuff, the angel flight pants and everything, and how the police were towards black people. I get it. But when all of a sudden, now you have professionals, black people that are professionals, they're like professors, and they have positions in politics, and they own companies and everything. They got money now. They got a little bit of power. And yet the black on black crime got even bigger. That's when I go, you know what? As much as you want to say, systematic racism and everything, I get it. But it really boils down to each and every individual. That's why when that guy was at the bar saying, oh, this and that, black people went through and this and this and that. Nah, you got to hear it from an immigrant's point of view, man. And it's not like, this immigrant came from a country that's all up and up. My country was so damn fucking corrupt. All the stuff that you guys are doing over here, we've done it. We've been doing that shit over there because of why? Because we were hungry. And when you're hungry, a man will do anything he can to feed his family. I've seen it. It's no joke. So I said, all that stuff that you guys are doing in the hood over here, man, you're lucky you have houses over here. They got nothing but shanties and fucking hovels over there, like made-up houses and stuff like that. You put your house, and we have typhoons and all of that stuff over there. You guys have public housing over here. You guys have welfare over here. You have free education over here. Didn't really have that over there, and yet you have the audacity. Says, this and that, the white man this, or government that, whatever. Man, motherfucker, pick your pants up and man up, bitch. Stop freaking complaining, because it's getting on my damn nerves. And I did that too. Like, I remember, me and Scoop were talking, and finally we basically, you know what, I think what I'm going to do is, if I see these guys on the corner with a post, feed me this and this and that, I went to so many homeless over here, and I kind of picked them too. I kind of picked the ones that are like close to my age. And I said, hey man, why are you over here begging for money? Oh, because I had this thing. I said, why don't you knock on doors and mow lawns or some shit? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm over here knocking on doors and helping people with their yard work, picking up dog shit, whatever it is to make money, bro. I'm doing that. Why can't you do it? Oh, this and that, and then I would talk to some of the young guys over there going, so I'm straight up, me. I go, so you're telling me because you don't want to fill that application, you would rather be out here, people seeing you, hoping that you'll get money from us because you look pitiful. I'm straight up. I asked them that. So that's what you're doing. You'd rather be out here, out in the hot sun, making the whole world think like, oh, poor me, knowing that I'm looking at you. I know your game. You're 32 years old, motherfucker. You're an able person. You can go out there and get a job or do some kind of I'm 58 years old and I'm over here picking up any kind of work I can to provide for myself. And you're over here, you're standing at the end of this parking lot, trying to act all pitiful and all of that stuff. And then check this out. When I was working for Hot Incorporated, right, I met a guy, and he was homeless. And you know what he told me? He told me this, and he finally straightened up. He goes, no, Ray, I used to do this. I used to strategize. I was panhandling, and I was doing all that stuff. The one that you see in the corner over there, or Northtown and everything. How they just kind of with the signage and everything. He goes, yeah, I did that. I said, you did? Yeah. And he goes, and people, believe it or not, they give you money. I said, so is it because you're really just down and out? No, because I was strategizing because I want to get my next drink. He goes, eating was no problem. Because I could just go to the fast food and everything, and those people know me, and they give me food and everything, and I ate well. And at the same time, I got food stamps and everything. The state provided for me. What I did that for is because, you know what? People will give you money out of the, because they felt sorry for you. And when he told me that, I go, so it's a big con job then. Yeah, because I did it. I'm not doing it now, but yeah, I did it just to get drunk. Wow. Wow. So, no, man. You know what?
Where do you see, where does hip hop go from here? 2026 to 2036, moving forward. Are we going to go back to the way it started, or is it going to,
No, I don't think it's going to go back, because I think what it is that, just like in everything, hip hop first started as it was started out as an R&B, braggadocio, it's about, trying to get the women, and, I'm this and that and this and that, I'm so fly, da 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 da, and then they got into political rap, this and that, fight the power and all that stuff, and then they got into fuck the police and all that stuff, and then I think what's going to happen is that eventually it's going to come to, because no matter what, hip hop it's a genre, and it's a catchy genre, and it's a genre that now everybody does it, and now it's global. It's global. Sometimes I listen to rap, and they don't have to even speak in English. A lot of times I listen to it, I don't even understand what the fuck they're saying, but you know what? It's funky. It's it has a right to it. So I don't care about what they're saying. A lot of times I'm not really paying attention to the words anyway. I'm paying attention to the beat. And so I think it's going to progress, but I think it's going to progress more now into I think it's going to now I think more and more the gospel hip hop is going to be on the rise. So if you want to get into that industry right now, my suggestion is that the stuff that Lecrae started and all these other hip hop, a lot of hip hop artists are turning Christian right now. You know, the Word of God, and you know me. For me, anything that a person can do to know the Word of God, and then to turn their life to the Lord, because if anyone who's always turned their life to the Lord, even if they what do you call it? Even if, say, for instance, they fell back, they're still a lot better than they were before, because now they know. So to me, I like the direction it's going, because now these clean, nerdy brothers and other people, geeks, can now talk about it, and they talk about Jesus, and it's no longer just, you know, black whatsoever. It's everybody now. It's just the true meaning of freedom of expression, which is what this country is about. So I think that's where it's going, which I'm glad it's going that way. You know, I think it's going to go that way. It's just going to become, you know, like I would probably call it like rejuvenation hip hop, or renewal or resetting. Or
right. Are we going to get the gays? We're going to get the gays and all the not so much disrespect and you know.
And it's going to be clean. It's not going to be like, you know, they're over here putting face tattoos like Lil Wayne and looking stupid and shit like that. I think they're going to be more clean, because right now there's a thing going on. There's a thing trending on in TikTok and social media where, you know, and of course, you know, who is the one that sets the standards of fashion here? I'm sorry, black people do, right? So a lot of brothers right now are wearing these 3/4 sweaters zip up, and then they're wearing slacks. They still keep their braids and everything, but pretty soon, the whole clean cut look, the Louisville and all of that stuff, you know, it's going to be kind of like 1984 again, man. When everybody start dressing GQ. You know, in the 80s. That's when, in the 80s, the year you were born, we were all G'd up. Men wearing suits, and, you know, because the look back then, it's like, you know, the whole scruffy and that was, man. Nah, it was like, we wore suits, we wore nice sweaters, and it was kind of preppy, and we're into the education and everything. That was my generation. I think it's going to go back to that. I think it's going to clean up, you know, and whatnot. And right now, with the whole thing that Trump and his administration are doing, they're really really honing down on fentanyl and all the drugs and all that stuff, and a lot of like pharmaceutical companies, and people are starting to wake up. Like McDonald's is imploding, Wendy's, and basically a lot of these fast food places are basically. You know, they're going out of business. You know, I think the whole world is going through a cleansing. We're going to a global cleansing right now, because the whole year of the whole generation of just negativity and toxicity and weakness and all that stuff, demonic shit. You know, I think, you know, after a while, that kind of stuff, you know, it gets old. People get tired of it. You know, people are gonna go, you know what, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. I'm tired of freaking being, you know, I'm tired of being sick. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Shit's gotta change now. So I think what's gonna happen here on the hip hop stuff, because I gotta tell you, you know, being a creative is, no matter what, it's a form of intelligence. And some way, somehow, it's going to figure its way to becoming good. So, in my opinion, a lot of people are like, oh, you know what? I don't believe in Jesus and this and that. Oh yeah, okay. They just try and do that to separate yourself and try to think they're cool. And then it's going to come to a point, oh no, you know what? I'm all about Jesus now. Jesus, this and that. You know, fuck gangs and fuck drugs and all this stuff. And you know, I'm quitting drinking. I'm quitting this and whatever. Yeah, but all that bullshit that you were doing, that shit gets old, motherfucker. And so even now with the women, you know, what's the biggest thing? That's why, you know, I think it's kind of good because a lot of men are waking up because all these ran through bitches, you know, all these freaking OnlyFans bitches, boss babes, and oh yeah, I don't need a man. But they keep saying that. You're not going to win. Goodness and righteousness in the end will always win.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. I mean, the record labels are already losing their hand at controlling it with the independence, the technology, and the ease of access. And I don't know, if you let like people decide, and that's the problem is the radio companies have always just controlled what we hear. Like, damn, the same song again 4 times an hour? Come on, man. And so we have the choice. I mean, you know, even the young guys, they're gonna have kids and get older. Eventually, I mean, I would hope that, you know, you like, I don't play crazy rap music around my son. You know, I don't want to hearing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so,
you know, and think about it, right? Millennials there are more millennials than there are baby boomers. And when baby boomers were born, they were the baby boomers really are the ones that got the best piece of this country's rewards after World War II. There's a lot like my parents, you know, they're the ones that, you know, a man can still, you know, work a job, go to school, and his wife is at home taking care of the kids.
Shout out,
and able to afford, you know, yeah. You know, so I mean, I think they're the ones that were able to like stay with a company for 40 years and have a retirement. You know, I mean, the one that got the bad end of the stick is my generation. But at the same time, one thing I can say about my generation is that we were the most educated. Our population was very small. We were the most educated. We're the toughest because nothing was handed to us. We're like latchkey kids. You know, we basically raised ourselves. You know, we're tough. You know, we're sensible. We're smart. So that's the thing. And going back to what you're saying is that all this time, and you know, you've always known about my time with Blind Dog. And yeah, all these years, but I know God will always favor his children, and I'm God's child. And he's going like this, Ray, you know what? Be glad that you didn't have no stupid ass tattoos. Be glad you didn't join no fucking gang. Be glad that you didn't drink alcohol, you didn't get involved with the drugs and all that stuff. Be glad, because I come to realize that all those times that I thought, I missed out on the fun. No, I did not. I did not miss out on the fun, because there is nothing more fun than when you're old and yet you can still live your life as if you're fucking young. Because all the people that, I'm seeing it from myself, the ones that got comfortable or got caught up or they just whatever, man, and they stuck with it, or they let life beat the fuck out of them and they believe the hype. I look back at that and I'm going, wow. So I know that Blind Dog is going to be one of the biggest things, and I know God's preparing that. Real talk. I can feel it. I can feel it, because it's almost like it's like he's setting the stage for me. Like, you know what? Just stay put. Just keep dreaming and whatnot. Yeah, so what? You never own the house. Oh, so what? You this and that. So what? This and this and that. Whatever. Don't worry about that. That's the world school shit. I got a plan for you, Ray. I got a plan for you. Why do you think? Yeah. Why do you think you can live your life in peace and you got the biggest storm compared to a lot of people? Why is that? And your storm is not because you created it. It just that just happens to be the way your life panned out. But at the same time, how come you're able to manage your storm in peace and look good doing it? I wonder about that. Because I didn't live an easy life. Oh hell no! You know me all these years. You've seen what I've been through.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like I'm bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you the facts of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going no, because he's preserving the time for me. I just gotta walk my path straight and narrow. And I'm so thankful that I'm not one of those like, oh, I was this, I was that, I was this and that. No, there's nothing about my past I can brag about. Because to me, it's kind of like that's what happened then. It's done. I can't take it back. I just have to look forward to what I have right now. But I'm glad that I didn't do none of that stupid shit. Because life is gonna throw shit at you whether you like it or not, whether you ask for it or not. It's gonna throw shit at you. You know. And the only thing I can say that I pat myself on the back for is that, you know what, I'm so glad that God didn't make me the smartest man. No, not at all. I'm not a genius. But he gave me a sense of discipline, and he gave me a tenacity that it's kind of like now I understand how Kobe was. You know, I can understand why Kobe's so good. Because, think about it. First of all, Kobe did not grow up in this country, so when he was playing sports, he was somewhere else. He wasn't playing like the other brothers that were basically, you know, like if you look at LeBron, oh man, LeBron from the very get-go, he was already prime. The NBA was already looking at LeBron at freaking probably just great. They're already looking at, oh, that guy's going to be the next one, the next one, the next one. Like Michael Jordan always had, it's going to be the next one, the next one, the next one. But Kobe wasn't like that. He came to the NBA. I don't even think Kobe weighed 200 pounds. But his work ethic and his Mamba mentality, his tenacity, basically sets him apart from all the other brothers out there. You know, spoke 3 or 4 different languages. If Kobe survived today, still alive today, I bet you he had some of the most like really, really popular seminars on how to self-improvement seminars in a convention that you will go to. The only thing that ruined Kobe is he married a dumb bitch. Like all of us. The woman that you're with, I'm sorry, man. I'll be the first one to tell you. And it's my fault. I don't blame Angela. She's who she is. I can't blame her. I fell in love. You can't blame me for that. I fell in love. I thought I was doing the right thing. But whoever is the woman that you're with, your ride or die, if she ain't right, you're cooked. You're cooked, bro. I can think that way, but I'm not cooked.
Let me ask
I'm
you.
not cooked.
I mean, I'm sure it goes both ways, but is it more important for a man to have a solid woman? I mean,
oh hell yeah,
because it's a man's world, obviously. And
hell yeah, hell yeah.
Because women
hell
are just
yeah,
kind of.
because you know what? Because a good woman, you know, there some dude is always, if you have a woman out there who's got 3 kids or 4 kids or whatever, and some guy is gonna basically, still wipe her up, and take and father her kids that's not even his. How many people out there do you know? Oh well, my stepfather, right? Yeah, no, a woman, because the way they're wired and the way our culture is, some dude is gonna wipe her up and give her a good life. I don't care if she's the one that's like, oh, I went to college and I this and that. No, you got a good man. But for a man to be with a woman that's like, and I'll be the first one to tell you that, no, man. Nah. It's not the same. So a woman to me, and plus two, I mean, unless you're one of those dumb bitches where you just like these fuck boys and simpy motherfuckers because you want, but even at that, if this simpy dude is like, then go, okay, I'll work and whatever you say when I'll do, pussy little motherfucker, your life will probably still be decent. But if you are a woman and you got 4 kids and you're over here and you're with this dude that's basically fucking every single woman out there, just can't get his life together, in and out of jail, can't get rid of his vice and everything, he's fucking full of bull, then you're a dumb bitch. But for a man, I learned that a long time ago. I don't have room to fuck around if I want a good life. I don't have room because my health is important. Because the minute my health goes, my life goes.
Right.
Especially for these fat motherfuckers out there who right now probably has a good job. I got a few of them in my church. Oh yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you go to church and you're very diligent at this and that, and when you pray, oh man, you know the Bible and this and that. But I'll tell you what,
Oh, that's
still, a lot of
and they're gonna die in vain. How we were talking about the other day, or living in vain.
If you think about it, that whole dying in vain. I think it's another thing that we gotta completely confuse, because okay, let's just take for instance, okay, like that guy who, let's bring it up to the show. You have a guy, never drank, never smoked, never did drugs, never cheated on his wife, is a good father, has a good job, not making money, but he's able to maintain a lifestyle. But there's only one thing. This man right here allows himself to get fat because of the pressures of life. Because a lot of times, I have a friend right now, he's like overweight, but he eats, but he's a natural athlete. And after hearing a story from him, I go, then what's the cause of the gain weight then? Cortisol. Because whenever you stress, cortisol, whenever you stress, that's the one that causes a lot of other sickness. And then what happens? Oh, I get sick. I take medication, a lot of medication. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be like I got a cousin that just died last week. Again, knowing him, got a good job and everything, got a good wife and everything, family, whatnot, but he didn't take care of himself, man. Overweight. He's 67 years old. He died. And I'm going, wow. Would you say he died in vain? Absolutely. But see, some people think that, oh, I didn't die in vain. I went to church. I know the Bible. I'm this and that. I gave my tithe, and I'm good to people. I'm good to my neighbors, and I provided for my family. I never cheated. Yeah, that's true. But you never considered You never considered that the most important thing before anyone else is your temple, bitch. Is your temple. As a fitness trainer, that's what I have some clients, because some of them, they'll defend their overweightness. Oh, you know, my work and, you know, and then my job and this and that. I said, look, man, I can measure you right now, and I can find out your fat content. And I can tell you, as much as you say you love them kids, but you didn't take care of yourself, what happens when you get sick? Then what? Oh, you can say you love them, absolutely. But you know what? You never invested in yourself. You never invested in yourself. You never, you know, and you say, I love my kids, I love God, I love God. Well, if you really love your kids and you really truly love God, guess what? If you know the word, especially if you know the scripture really well, like you do, then you would know that God lives in your temple. He lives inside of you. That's the first thing I would take care of. That's the part that I will be selfish. I'll be generous with my money. I'll be generous with my time. But you know what? When it comes to my health, I have to be selfish about that. Because that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. So I really cracks me up when I invite some of my friends to go to church. Oh, you know, we got to clean the kitchen. Bitch, we got 7 days of the week. You can clean your kitchen another day. And how long does it take to clean the kitchen? The whole freaking day? No, man. No, you're just lazy attending to God, who's been sustaining you all this time. But you know what, though? Go ahead. Go clean that kitchen. Because that seems to me that's more important to you. All right. Do that. But I tell you what, when that sickness comes on, and you're in the hospital and you're sick, I bet you will be praying to God, saying, oh, please, Lord, don't take me right now. Don't take me right now. I haven't completed this and whatever. But who did it? Who did it? You. But they would say that, oh, you know, well, I've been there. I lived my life, bro. I lived a life where I'm like everybody else. I lived in Hawaii. I had 2-3 jobs and working 16 hours a day. I've done all that stuff. You can't tell me nothing different. I wasn't privileged at all. In fact, you know what? I was unprivileged because, you know, you can say, I worked for this company for 6 or 10 years. I never had that. I lost my job because that's my faith, you know. So I'm constantly trying to look for a job and everything, but I never quit. I always, you know, figure out a way. But one thing I never forgo is my relationship with the one who created me. Because he's the one that sustains me. He's the one that sustains me. Some guys go to church because their wife goes to church. Okay, so you're not really going to church because you want to go to church. You're going to church because your wife goes to church and you don't want to hear it from her. So there's a lot of sins that men do. Because I'm not any different. I'm the same as them. But it's all about your choices in life. If you really have that goal, if you really say you're the man, you're that man, then you will make all the necessary sacrifices.
Makes sense.
You know. So that's what I've been telling my pastor. I said, yeah, there's a lot of people in this church that's gonna hate me. And I don't care. They can hate me. I'm used to that. It's not like it's the first time. But if what I'm telling them is the truth and it pierces them, good. I did my job. You know. So, yeah. But going back to hip hop, again, it really boils down to, I can't blame, really, it's not the genre, it's the ones who took the genre for granted and use it for their own benefit. Like what? Have you seen P. Diddy lately? See how old he looks?
Man, I see he got a little prison boo all hugged up on him in these pictures with the wig and everything. What the hell? What the hell? I mean, that man, he looked like he can actually finally just be himself.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Finally, because he's there with, I'm sorry, man. I mean, yeah, I've seen people in prison that came from prison that shouldn't be there in the first place. They were just a victim of circumstances, and those are the ones who they get rehabilitated and they learn their lesson and they become a better person. And yet, also, I've seen some people that they belong there because they can't really function outside of prison. Because their mentality, they're there. That's their comfort. And I can see that with a lot of these shot callers who are actually gay. Damn, if you're gay, like P. Diddy, I'm sorry, man. If you're a dude, and yeah, you know what? He probably likes women, but he does guys too. Motherfucker, you're gay to me. I don't care what you say. You're gay. So to me, like you said, it looks like he looks like he fits in there. He probably does, man. Cause I can tell you what. Now all of this is coming out. The death of Biggie, the death of Tupac. I blame that motherfucker. Because, he has some people that no matter what, how you feel there's some people in this life, no matter how you twist it, they're just evil. They're just bad people. And I think he's just one of them. But he just happens to be a smart guy, and he's comfortable lying. He's comfortable, manipulating people. Like he has really his moral compass is really low, and he's smart, and he's also creative, smart. So, yeah.
If we could discuss gym etiquette and gym attire, and maybe when you're in the gym working out, what are some of the things that just like, you can't help it, but just like annoys the hell out of you, or what, like, when you,
oh man,
like,
you really want to go there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when you're just looking at like this, like what this dude.
Oh gosh, we're going there, huh? Oh man.
It's a smorgasbord tonight, y'all.
Okay. All right. We're going there. I mean, in terms of the attire, I got nothing. I mean, people are gonna go there, in their comfort gym outfit whatsoever. That's totally cool. But I'm sorry, man. What annoys me are these dudes with freaking leg tattoos, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. I seen a dude. I'm sure he was gay. Literally today, after I get out of the sauna, I go in the jacuzzi. I've never seen this in life, bro. He had a tramp stamp, and it said Nathan on the back, on his lower back. It said Nathan in big, bold, green letters.
He has someone's name of a man on the man's back?
This dude had Nathan tattooed on his lower back. And
man, that's just...
the crazy thing is, for like 2 seconds, I thought he was like, I mean, you have to be gay. You have to. I mean, there's no incest, but what the fuck? Excuse my language. But and before his dumbass gets in the pool, he does one of these. He like stretches right in front of me. You know, I'm sitting at the back of the at the jacuzzi, looking at the whole pool and everything, and he like does a little shake. And he like stretches his back before he jumps in. I said, "Get the fuck out of here, dog." I said, "What the hell?" Yeah, I've seen it all. Nathan, I said, "Oh Lord."
It's amazing what people will do. That's why I think today when we were like texting each other, you know, let's talk about that. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the gym.
Right.
Let's just talk about, you know, especially like today, you know, what are the common terms that a lot of the new generation are using? Is, oh, low key. You know, I know they say, oh yeah, I'm just low key this, low key that. But I remember when I was watching the show that you did with Chino Boy and also Daigo, you know, I know that they say, oh, low key, right? And then the whole thing, you know, flex. So to me, the generation tries to have this, oh, and the word introvert. I'm an introvert. I think we live in the most hypocritical generation, or maybe we've always lived in the hypocritical generation, and it's just now because of social media and whatnot, and everyone has a camera on their phone, and everyone is like posting stuff. Maybe now it's just been polarized even more. You know, low key. Flex. I should be this flex. I should be this flex.
And you know, and my son be saying it because the YouTubers, bro. I can't stand this whole like yo, let them cook, or like you know, you know, Kyrie's gonna get cooked today, you know.
Yeah, that's another word. You're
cooked.
You're cooked.
Dude, he's so cooked. Like
he's cooked.
Bruh.
What about the word bro? Like women be using that. Oh bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just said bro, but like I try not to use that. I don't like when other men call me boss. You know, oh thanks boss. Hey boss.
I think to me,
that one.
They say that to me because that word boss in the Filipino culture, we use that word because, you know, we use boss or bossing. Bossing, you know, like that,
boss,
right?
Boss, yes.
Boss, yeah. And I think they do that to try to relate to me, kind of let me know, like, oh, I know you're Filipino, but I'm not going to outright tell you, hey, are you Filipino? But because to me, maybe to them, they probably think like, oh, maybe he'll appreciate because I call him boss. Oh, thank you, boss, because he's familiar with that. I said, I am familiar with it. Doesn't mean I like it, but I am familiar with it. You know? No, yeah, boss. They call, hey, boss, yeah. Oh, thank you, boss.
There's a few others. I'm a traditional man. You know, well, it depends on how, and it goes back into the dress and how you carry yourself. I don't care if the dude's younger than me, in the 22. If you present sir energy, I'm gonna be like, how you doing, sir? Right? Not all people are deserving of sir. By the way, you know, they speak to you or they dress. But I like simply ma'am, sir. I mean, yeah, you know, ma'am. I mean, I don't really call ma'am, maybe like a tad older women.
Well, I would call, for me, out of respect, I would call, whether she's married or not, I call her, if she's older, I would call her either Miss, or because I live in Hawaii, and maybe some of the people here get thrown off by that, I'll say auntie. And they said, I'm sorry, I'm from Hawaii. We call older people auntie,
Yeah.
or like older men uncle,
Uncle.
out of respect,
Yeah.
But because I live there, that gives me, I guess, the right to say that word out of respect. It's kind of like in the Filipino Tagalog language, there is a thing called what do they call it? I was just reading it the other day. It's a certain type of stuff to where it's a certain way where when someone is older than you, every time you say instead of sir, you end it with the word po or ho. It's a respect thing. It's like, you know what, and then salamat po, like salamat means thank you. Salamat po. Po is like acknowledging them that, you know what, you're older than me. So I use that as a form of respect. We don't have that here in the U.S., and it bothers the fuck out of me when kids call their grandparents or something by their fucking first name. What the fuck is that? You're calling your grandfather Jack? I'll elbow you in the mouth, motherfucker. Your grandfather, that's your grandfather. Whatever it is, good or bad, you don't call him by his first name. But I guess they're okay with that. That never sit well with me. I'm traditional. Call him grandpa or call him sir, but don't call him by his first name. What's wrong with you? Oh yeah, George. Yeah. And you know what? Too, when you, I guess coming from a different culture too, when you talk to your elders, and even in Hawaii, you've seen this with a lot of like local and Polynesian. When there's an elder there, just the way they act, they're a little bit more submissive. Over here, as Americans, the younger one, they talk to their elders as if they're like their buddy or something like that. And I get kind of offended by that because, I mean, I know it's the culture, but it doesn't really sit right with me. But that's just who I am. In Hawaii, you can tell when the elders are in the room, especially a group of elders, the young ones, they actually like really just, they bow down and they really just kind of lower themselves and everything because that older person earned the position there. Whether they were good or bad or maybe they were an asshole whatsoever, you don't mistreat the elders. You gotta, because, you know, when someone gets old, no matter what, they've experienced life, they deserve that respect. So, yeah, but maybe it's just, you know, it's just, I'm just not used to it. Because I didn't see that in Hawaii. When you see Samoans, you know, when they have an they have what they call tutu, yeah, you know, it's just like, hey, bro, like you and me, yeah, hey, bro, hey, you know, like that, right? But when the elder comes in there, like, you know, like tutu, your great grandmother, oh man, you know what? It's like you bow your head, this and that, and you show respect, man. You show respect. You don't just act like, oh yeah, hey Jack, hey Jack, man, elbow in the mouth, bitch. You disrespect the motherfucker.
And that's one thing I would actually like to see in hip hop. I'm gonna have to make a song myself, bro. But I
hey,
want.
You know what? I don't see that in black culture either. I don't see that in black culture. As close as I am to black people.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen it on the both, you know, ghetto style, and I've seen it in the church. I've never seen that. They have a hierarchy with black people.
I would like to see.
I've never seen that with black people. I don't even see. I definitely don't see that in Hispanic. No. Even in the Native American culture, I've never seen that too. They have a sense of hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
I only really seen the majority of white people where they call their grandfather by their first name, and it kind of like it's kind of like, okay, that's the way they do it. That's the way they do it. But I know I don't necessarily agree with it because that person right there, and some of them may always because he's a racist. I don't give a flying fuck if your grandfather's a racist. Good. At least at that era, my grandfather was a racist too. They're all the same. That's just the generation they live. I'm not gonna disrespect them because of the way they are. I don't care. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect me if he likes me or not. I don't give a flying fuck.
I totally think there could be a song, like a hard rap song, but it's about manners, respect, and just being a civilized citizen. I think that's missing in hip hop. Just a civilized dude. You don't need to fucking mean mug everybody every day. You don't need to act hard.
And you know what too, bro? I tell you what. In the real life, they're not like that. They're not like that. They are not like that. Black people ain't like that. Even in the ghettos of the ghetto, I've been in the ghettos of the ghetto. They don't act like that. In fact, they just laugh a lot. They joke around a lot. They cap on each other's shoes. And they just like regular people, man. But they don't walk around. You know who did that, man? TV. TV did that shit. Again, simulating what they think it is. And so what's going to happen? Of course, black people are the biggest influencers in this country. People are going to think that's how they are. Mm-hmm. They're not like that. Mm-hmm. They are not like that. They're normal people. They're regular, respectful people towards each other. They're not like that. I've even, and plus too, the whole thing about, white trash plus white. I've been around that too. My boy Kenny Key that way. They're not like that either. They are not like that. They're not like that. The only time anyone becomes that way is when they get drunk and shit like that. But other than that, you put them on the regular setting, everybody has respect for people. Like regular people, like normal people. That's why I don't watch TV or watch a lot of movies, period. I don't buy into the bullshit that this world is done. I'm done. To me, it's cooked. It's fucking annoying to me. Like, I don't believe nothing that's being shown in that too. Nothing. That's freaking annoying to me. I think it insults my intelligence. It really does. Why in the fuck am I gonna watch someone else's drama when I got my own set of dramas that I'm trying to deal with? So I don't. I just don't. And because ever since I left Hawaii, because Angela is always in the TV, I'm like, I'm glad. And then my mother-in-law's always watching the news, and I'm like, oh man, I'm glad I'm out of that space. Yeah. But in reality, people are respectful towards each other. Yeah, the whole thing about calling your grandfather by his first name, hey, you know what? That's the way our people are. But it doesn't mean that they're mean or towards each other. Like I've been to a lot of black family parties, and all I've seen is a lot of laughter because you're gonna get capped on. Oh yeah. They're going to make fun of your shoes. They're going to make fun of whatever, how your hair is, all that. That's just part of the whole social conversation, and I'm totally cool with that. I mean, just the level of it creates insecurity. I get it, but it's funny,
Yeah.
What I don't like is that, the minute you talk to them, it's like, oh, well, right away they give you, it's like bad shit. That I can't stand that. You know, I can't stand that. And I think for me, being around a lot of black people, and because a lot of them, especially the elder ones, are into church, they don't talk like that. They don't talk like that. They're always talking about something, you know, Jesus and spirituality and being good and what the Bible says. I love that part. I love that part.
Yeah.
But if you're around people and the only thing they talk about is their ailments and their surgery or what happened to them, and of course they're gonna hype it up, they're gonna make it a lot worse than what it is. That gets on my damn nerves.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Fucking yeah, complainers, man. Just, and there's always got to be extras, man. I mean, a lot of people do that. Even if you say, oh, you know, I do a little podcast or something. Oh yeah, oh my friend or my brother's friend, he has a podcast. It's like, but you don't like, or it's just always one up in you. And I'm not even saying it to up you. I'm just like letting you know. Oh yeah, I used to do this and this and this. And fucking hey, that's one of my biggest pet peeves right there too.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. And then you've heard it like a million times because that's the highlight of their life story. And to where it's kind of like, that's why I think to me now, a lot of times when I talk to someone, I don't really share a lot of stuff anymore. Because what they're gonna do is that they're always gonna highlight what they did, who they know, and and try to get on your good side or trying to impress you or whatever. And I just want to say, look, buddy, I really don't give a flying fuck. You know, but at the same time, if they're just trying to relate. But I really think that what's happening is that, and I see this in American culture, is that in the American culture, we're more about bragging. Like you said, always trying to one up someone, or just trying to exaggerate it and everything. They're like, oh, familiar and everything. But then when it comes to you talking, they're not listening.
Nah. And always when you have the whole like a paranormal or a ghost story, or you might not even have nothing crazy, but you're just trying to like, oh man, I was spooked. They always gotta bring up like, oh, well, I seen a ghost, and my grandmother's house was really haunted, and I oh my god, like really, you know, it's just like every little nuance, man. I was like, damn.
And you know, like I can understand that because you know, living in Hawaii, I met a lot of people that traveled the world with a lot of military. You know, and a lot of countries can't really stand Americans, to be honest with you. Like I have a friend named Virgil, and he's Filipino, and he went to school in Japan. He goes, oh yeah, you know, I worked in Japan because I grew up there. He goes, the Japanese, when there's Americans at this restaurant, they put me in charge of them because they don't want to talk to Americans. Because the Americans talk to them much. They talk to them much, and they think that they're always in the same country. And I can understand why there's a lot of people that are not really crazy about, because number one, I think as Americans, a lot of us are like, we're not, like, good example, I got my brother-in-law, he's a white guy. Until today, married to my sister, and this motherfucker, I go, bitch, you married my sister and she can cook. And she cooks really good Filipino food. And you don't eat her cooking? What the fuck's wrong with you, motherfucker? Then why the fuck did you marry her? With your freaking now-seasoning having ass. And I said, see, that's the kind of shit that makes people don't like you. You know, because you're a freaking cookie cutter. you know. And
Cookie cutter motherfucker.
so I'm going, man, my sister can cook. And too bad. That's why whenever I used to visit her, my sister decided to make all these different stuff because her husband doesn't eat really Filipino food. It was really picky. Like, that's fucking, don't marry a woman of a different ethnic race then, because your prejudice and your racism comes out from there. Don't you understand that when you marry a person of a different nationality, you gotta accept them wholeheartedly? In fact, you have to really adjust yourself to her culture, motherfucker. Dumbass. That's what it is, man. You have to adjust yourself to her, not because, nah.
Right.
Especially if you decide that, and you know, that's just how it is. Some men are respectful of that to where they even learn the language. I really respect men like that. But the ones who like they're stuck in their ways, man, fuck out of here, man. Stay single, motherfucker. Don't touch or talk to any of my people, the women, because your undercover racism comes out and it annoys the fuck out of me. But you ain't cool. You think you're cool? No, you ain't cool, motherfucker. We just don't say shit to you. Because we're not like that. But other than that, truthfully, we don't like you. Not because of, you know, because you're this. We don't like you because the fact is that you're not, you know, it's kind of like, why did you marry an Asian woman then? Oh, because, you know, they'll take care of you and everything. Basically, get a fucking maid, motherfucker. I don't want you around my people. You fucking ruined the pot and shit. You know, so.
Hell yeah.
You know, and maybe that's the same way when I'm around your people. You don't really like me. That's cool too. You know, but I tell you what, it's not that I don't like being not around you guys. It's just because maybe your food to me is a little bland. Maybe your music and maybe your conversation to me is like it's too stiff. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I can't relax. Your conversation is always about material shit, and I'm not into that. So it's just a difference of culture. You know, so, but because I'm married to that person, I'll adjust. I'll go with it, you know. But when it comes to, I think when it comes to, like, for example, if I marry a Mexican woman, or be with a Mexican woman, and I can't stand their fucking music, to be honest with you, because I love her, and she's with me, I'll make the proper adjustments to find a way to like their fucking music I don't like. You know, and if that's the only thing, then I can adjust to that one. I'm willing to adjust. You know. As far as the food, okay. Just don't put freaking raisins on my mac salad. That's all I'm saying.
Is that a Hawaii thing or what's going on there?
Oh, hell no. Mac salad in Hawaii is fucking awesome, dude. We don't put fucking raisins on freaking mac salad and shit.
Yeah, that's
mac salad is mac salad.
That's the raisins belong in the little carrot salad or whatever that is. That's,
you know, yeah. But other than that, you know, yeah. You know, just and then put some seasonings in your food, man. Put a little bit of spice on it. You know, and don't give me no fucking packaged food either. Like macaroni and cheese. Fuck all that shit. Give me something healthy. Or don't just feed me like salad and stuff like that. You know, feed me something. Give me something like.
There's some hard again.
There's different stuff.
Facts.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so going back to the gym, the only thing that I can't stand are freaking dudes with freaking leg tats. Ah, fuck. Like, wow.
Yeah, I never understood that one. I mean, as a dude, you got your stupid cap, and I've seen guys with like the Cowboy star on the back of their calf, or it's some team. Oh, that's the worst, bro. It's like, bro, really like a team.
No, actually, you know what? It's kind of funny because like for me, I guess I try to control my expression and everything like that, but when something really catches my eye and I don't like it, it's hard for me to be like, have that stoic face. You know? And what cracks me up is that these guys, okay, you have leg tats, and, you know, guys' legs are hairy. So I know they shave that motherfucker, right? And a lot of guys, number one, they don't really have calves. They got freaking no calves, or a lot of guys that got flat asses and shit like that. And yet they wear these shorts and they show off their leg tat. And they shave their legs, and they act like, you know, this and that. I'm going, you know what? You're trying to not show off, but you are showing off. You're trying to like portray like, oh, I'm not showing off, but you are showing off, motherfucker. You're showing off that ugly ass whatever. And they have these tattoos like, I've seen some awful ones. I just don't like them. That's like, to me, like seeing a tattoo on a fat chick's ankle when she has cankles. I'm like, bitch, I don't know when your calves begin and when your ankle starts. They're like, oh, just one big trunk. All you got is them fat legs with them freaking porcupine toes and shit because you're fat.
Right.
And there's no tan on there either. So, but at the same time too, I've seen them in Hawaii too. I'm like, no, just doesn't look cute. And you can have a tan, but still, it's not cute to me. Or like overly tattoos. Like, I don't know, man. Let's talk about that. Like, how do you feel about women with tattoos?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like a woman's beautiful. This is like one of the most beautiful things in the world, just naturally. So, I mean, some of them look good, look cute, but I be tripping like, damn, when you older and shit, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look crazy. But overall, I like natural, man. I prefer just like, girl, you don't need nothing. You're beautiful, or go get a fucking henna tattoo, some shit.
Yeah, I think a woman, to me, focus on your skin, even if you got freckles. I don't care. I think freckles are cute.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's your natural skin. It's understandable. Even a little acne, I get it. It's understandable. You have sensitive skin.
The ones I don't like is like women with the tattoos on their, like, above their eyebrows and on the side of their temple.
Or like they have it like on their neck and shit. That's another dumb shit.
And the main thing about tattoos, bro, is like everybody can't be that original. Every woman got a damn butterfly or a name of an ex,
Oh,
or they got lips, or even dudes with the lips tatted on their neck. Get out of here, bro. Like,
oh no. Okay, check this out, right? So now let's go back to it. Okay, like the whole um, going back to that tattoo. Okay, so the whole low key, I'm introvert. I don't want to flex. I go, oh, and the cops, I don't want them. I said, dumbass, if I'm a cop and I profile you, your tattoo is going to give you away. It's going to give you away because you already marked yourself. For what? For attention. And then, you had all the reason. Oh, yeah, this reminds me of so-and-so and this and that. Like I have a coworker. Oh, I got the tattoo. I got the sleeve and everything. And I'm going, okay, that's cool, whatever. Oh, this means this. This means that. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's great. But I truly believe that the human body, the muscle sculpture, our skin is beautiful enough, man. It's beautiful enough. Will you lose hair? Yeah, of course you'll lose hair. That's just part of life. Will you have wrinkles? Yeah, you're going to have wrinkles. That's just part of life. Will you have pimples? Yeah, that's just the way it is. But to go out of your way to pay for something, like, if you really look at someone that's tatted up, right? I wonder how much cumulatively did they spend for all the tattoos they have in their body. Okay, you got some tattoos. Can you kind of like quantify or calculate
hell yeah,
how much you spend on your tattoos altogether?
I believe like the my Desert Sickness. I got it from the homeboy. He charged me $100, and then my Nevada tat. 2007. I was with Alonzo in Tahoe. I believe it was like $90 or $100. I remember I gave him $100 with the tip, so I spent like a little measly $200.
Okay, 200.
And that was pretty good, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, and then whether you have free, whether maybe something they just put that mark on your body whatsoever.
Yeah.
But even at that, even if they didn't charge you anything, it still quantifies because the fact is that I don't know. I just look at money and time almost an equivalent because even if you didn't pay for it, you took the time for someone to mark your skin.
Some people be volunteering, like, oh, you're a tattoo artist? I'll let you practice on me.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. It's almost like, and what's interesting, we did have that conversation one time on the Bible stuff, because in the Bible it tells you there that God doesn't want you marking your skin. But then at the same time, someone did an argument. Says, what about Revelation 13 and this and that? When it says that Jesus Christ is going to come back on the white horse, and on his thigh it's written, Lord of Lords, King of Kings. Isn't that a tattoo? That kind of caught me off guard there. I'm like, is this tattoo? I said, if you take it literally, I think we think it's tattoo, but it's maybe just a symbolism, just like the rest of Revelation, like Lord of Lords, King of Kings, just like when they say, in the ending of time, they said that the mark of the beast is, this and that on your hand. And I said, no, if you look at it, that's not really what they meant by the mark of the beast going to be on your hand. What it is that in the ending of times, there'll be people that are so sinful that they're going to do stuff with their hands. And when they do stuff with their hands, that's like maybe steal or hurt someone or whatever, or sexually assault or whatever. That's their hand. So that the mark of the beast is on their hand. And then their thoughts are going to be so toxic and negative that that's going to be the mark of the beast in their thoughts. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to implant something on your head or on your hands or whatever. It's just a symbolism and everything. And some people because we live in such a material and tangible world that's how they understand it. And you got to understand that the ones that who has the most. I don't want to go there because it's gonna, like, people are gonna be listening to this podcast. It to me, the way you comprehend stuff is another form of intelligence, man. But for those who like take it so literally, I just think people like that have a very limited type of intelligence. I think they have a very, very limited intelligence. They act like they're smart. They think that they're smart. They look like they're smart, but they're not smart. I'm just correcting that, I'm just, all I gotta say is that, you know what, I put such a value on the human body, whatever it is, the human body to me. And whatever you did to your body whatsoever, that's your business. But to me, I look at your body, your physicalness, as the highest value of any precious metal in this world. The human body is the most intelligently designed that is unmatched. Like, your body really is the universe. Your body actually is the number one emulation of how the universe is in our body. And yet here we are, we're over here abusing slow death and not respecting our bodies. You think that, I go to the gym, or I don't eat gluten, I eat protein. You think that's it? I drink a lot of water. That's I respect my body. No, motherfucker. It goes a lot beyond that. It's how you think. It's what you say. It's yes, what you put to your body. It's also how you heal. It's also how you tend to your body. It's also how you understand your body. And I blame this to a lot of the Christian churches out there. What the Chinese are doing, our paganism, with the this and that, da, 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 da. No, that means that their mentality was so ahead. Like the indigenous people, their mentality was so far ahead of your dumb-ass literal Western mentality that you can only look at things through matter, like literal time and measurement and material, but you can't think of anything other than that. And yet you have the audacity to try to like minister a biblical concept to us when your intelligence is so. That's what I took this class, I took that class, I took this class, I took that class. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't have any certification. I don't have a degree. I don't have this and this and that. But I tell you what, there's things in this world that I know that I didn't go to school for. I like a lot of alchemists, that there's just, a lot of these holistic doctors that go with nature. They to me, they don't. That's waste and this and that. And then I found out when they did the research, they have urine in makeup. They have urine in a lot of our medication. They have urine in a lot of our